Help, I'm being chased by a bear. Oh my God. Could you imagine if somebody was being chased by a bear and they decided to live stream it? Here's my death. Have fun. What's up, internet? 2:20 on a Tuesday in Chicago, Illinois. I'm running down the street. I'm just a little boy. I already forgot my title. Something about illusions and stories. My title is an illusion. This stream is an illusion. Oh, here was another running stream. I was going to say I doubt I'll get 2 miles. I'm not even going to say. I'm not even going to predict how far I'll go. I'm just going. I weighed myself this morning, and I was pleasantly surprised with where I was at because I wasn't sure. So I'm calling this one Illusions and Stories. I just got off my 90 Days to Unlock Your Creative Potential Zoom call. And one thing that came up that I loved was we were talking about the poppy field syndrome, which is this thing where, in a poppy field, the farmer who comes through to chop it down, the tallest ones get chopped down to the shorter level, right? And that is a metaphor for how people can be afraid to stand out, because when you stand above the crowd, you can it seems like you'll get chopped down. And Derek presented, what if that's not even real? And I really loved that, because I'm calling this Illusions and Stories. I've really been present to how not real reality is. I know that's silly, but I was talking with a friend the other day, and we were talking about the idea of my life's gone on off the rails. You ever said that before? Things ever gone wrong and you said, this has gone off the rails? My life's gone off the rails. It's like, well, what rails? There's no rails to your life. Your life isn't on a set track like a roller coaster or a rail shooter video game. There's no rails for your life to be on or off of. There's no set path already laid out for you. You get to create the path. And so illusions and stories. We live in these stories that we think are reality when they're actually illusions. And I'm choosing to, instead of looking at a story of my life is on the rails, my life is off the rails, like I'm the captain of the ship of my life. And it's open waters, or it's a river. I don't know, but I get to steer it. And, that gives me a lot more agency than when I think there's rails and it's a binary. I'm either on the rails, off the rails. If I'm just in the water, it's fluid. You can go whichever direction I want to go. And life does happen to you to a degree, Like I've said on here before, you can get hit by a car tomorrow. You can get diagnosed with cancer tomorrow. So there are things that we can't control, but we still get to steer our ship. It's not just on our rails. You're not doomed or destined to whatever it is you're doomed or destined to. There's an element you get to create. No, thank you. Keep it up, though. Got some entrepreneur kids selling shells. I love it. Woo. Yeah, and another thing, so vulnerable moment, vulnerable. Yesterday, I ended up at the same coffee shop as a lady I was once very, very close to. And we haven't seen each other in 6 months. And I bravely decided I'm going to go say hi to her. Not with any expectation, but just because God put us in the same room together. And I want to be brave and say hi. And something I did dream about for a long time. And I'll say this, just the humor of the universe. In the past week or two, I've really committed to releasing her, saying being obsessed with her doesn't serve me. Fawning over her doesn't serve me. Being attached to her doesn't serve me, doesn't serve her. And yeah, it's funny how I have walked past this coffee shop hundreds of times and I have looked for her. I've looked in the windows. I stepped in to see if she was there. And then I ended up there not totally. Here's the river analogy. I was going to meet up with a friend at a different coffee shop, but the friend wanted to switch to that one because she wanted to order food at that one. So not through my plans, I ended up at that coffee shop. And she was there, and I decided to go say hi. And, you know, in the illusions and stories idea, I spent a long time worrying about if the door with her was open or shut. And door's shut, I screwed it up. How can I open it again? And now I'm here, it's like, what if there is no door? Shut up, Benning. You run and live stream about your feelings. Then you can tell me to run faster. Little man. What if there is no door? We're just two humans. And my life is going the way it's going. And I'm going to keep directing it on the course I want to direct it on. And her life's going the direction she's going. And it doesn't serve me to try to force things or to be angry that things are the way they are. And it was liberating to be brave and really nice to see her. I think she thought it was nice to see me. Truly, there was an amicable distance. There was a warmth that I remembered that got touched just slightly. And yeah, woo. Yeah, illusions and stories. It's we live in these stories and we think things are absolutely true when there's just a story about what's going on. I love your dance. These kids are out here hustling, selling shells. They're amazing. Yeah, you know, I suppose the message of today is that, like, don't clamp so hard onto things. Don't grab down as tight as possible. First of all, things slip away when you do that, or they break. And second of all, it's not real. Digging deep. Thank you, Derek. It's not real. Like, reality isn't really real. I get how kooky that sounds, but we just live in these stories about what's going on. And we can get out of these stories. We can't get out of the stories. We're always in a story. But sometimes the story we're in, we're lost in the sauce. We're convinced it's real. And maybe it's not actually as plastic, right? That's the word, as we might think it is. It's far more malleable, far more pliable. Just in the call today, there was a question about where are we not leading from the front? And I realized that I have resistance to asking the people who play in my band to do stuff outside of gigs. And there was another question of what thought might we have that is behind that belief. And I think the thought that I've been stuck on is that I'm annoying. And I realize the mindset shift of annoying versus persistent. You know, I see the same ads on YouTube all the time, and sometimes they occur to me as annoying, but maybe those ads are just persistent. And those people in whatever company, like, they wouldn't be running those ads all the time if something wasn't working. And they're persistent. They believe in the power of whatever they're selling, that it's going to help people, and maybe somebody like me. So they're persistent. I want to be I want to flip to being persistent about seeing the gifts I have being gifts, saying your life will be enriched if you engage in this. I promise you. And if you don't want to, that's all right with me. That just, no just means next opportunity. N-O, next opportunity. Ooh. So don't be afraid to challenge your own stories. And that can be really hard, really, really hard to do. So find people who dig deep and challenge your stories. I pay a coach to help me challenge my stories. It's the most valuable thing I've ever invested in. I wouldn't be running and live streaming right now if it weren't for the consistent challenging of my story that he has done for me. I cherish the relationships I have with people where we're able to challenge our own narratives and each other's narratives. All right, I think I'm out of words today. I'm gonna try and make it to 2 miles. But yeah, dig deep, challenge your story. Got a show September 22nd, Epiphany Center for the Arts, Safety Squad in Bumpus. I know you want to be there. All right, Danny Bauer signing off.